Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome to the Glitched Out Gaming Podcast. That's right, we're back, motherfuckers. We took a break off last week because we were just so drained from E3. You got, like, 3 podcasts from us in a row, essentially, that week.
Yep.
So, but we're back, and of course, I am Lord X, and I'm joined by my co-host, the one, the only, it's better than nothing, Israel Pacheco.
Damn it, I was gonna use that. I was just gonna wait till you're like, hey, how you doing, man? Well, it's better than nothing. That's not one of the stories on here, which I'm surprised, but yeah, you guys have probably heard about the Mighty Number 9 situation by now, but I'm doing a lot better than that. I'm doing a lot better than Mr. Inafune at the moment. But yeah, it should be a good show.
Yeah, we got some fun little stories to go over, a bunch of games to talk about. We got the games of July, because this is going to be the last episode before the next episode will be in July, so there you go, that's going to be that. And I guess next episode we'll do our look back at quarter 2 and see how we're doing with our fantasy draft, and yeah,
I'm
not
just
so
dead.
good for some of us.
I'm just dead at this point. All these delays.
You trusted in Nintendo. That was your folly.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure we'll be getting into at some point here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so with that, let's kick off the show. Waste no more time. And we're going to kick things off how we kick off every episode, with what we've been playing. So, Izzy, what have you been playing, man?
I got one game here, and it's funny because I saw you had like 5 or 6 games on your list. I've been the complete opposite. Like, after E3, I was just kind of drained from all the hype and excitement and everything that went on. And I just felt like playing something that I've put off for years at this point. This game came out, was it 2013, I want to say? It's been a while. But that is Ni no Kuni on PS3. And yes, a JRPG. Izzy's playing it and he's loving it. I really, honestly, I'm a little under like 3 hours. I'm like 2 hours 45 minutes, something like that. So I'm still very early on in the game. I did put it on easy mode just for what the hell. I suck at JRPGs, just being honest. And it's easy, but there's still, like if you're fighting a boss or whatever, it's still challenging. So it isn't like a cakewalk completely. So it has a pretty good balance. Man, I'm happy I'm finally playing this game. And the story's like great. Like the animation's great by Studio Ghibli, or Ghibli, however you pronounce it. Level 5 did a great job with like the design of the world, with the characters. Like, well, Studio Ghibli did that, but I mean in terms of the graphics, like the cel shaded look and all that of Oliver and Drippy and all the other characters, and it looks really nice. Like, it's a really nice looking game. The soundtrack is freaking phenomenal. Yeah, it really adds to the game. Like, it's incredible. The story's really heart-wrenching at the beginning. What happens to Oliver's mom was I already knew about it because I remember reading and seeing reviews back when this game came out and hearing discussions about it, but I knew it was coming. But still, it was like really, it's really sad, and it gives you like the motivation to get into the game and go to this other world and find basically what's her like soulmate. And it's like a lot of really interesting concepts. And I don't play a lot of JRPGs, so this is kind of fresh to me. The whole concept of like having a soulmate in another, in another realm essentially, and then using the mechanics of the heart pieces. And then stuff like the friendlies, which are, the familiars, which are basically like Pokemon. Like, you have your own little characters. Like, there's a lot of depth to this game, and like I haven't felt overwhelmed yet. There's a lot to take in, but I've only been playing this game. I haven't really... actually, I did play another game, which is kind of... Now that I think about it, but I just played it briefly. But this is the main game I've been playing, and it's not too far into it, about 3 hours. I'm gonna hop back into it after we finish the podcast. So I'm really enjoying it. Like I'm enjoying the mechanics. I'm enjoying, yeah, like I said, there's a lot of depth to this game. A lot of interesting game mechanics with the familiars, and then switching back between Oliver and the familiars. Just using like treats to boost up your familiar. Like you can boost up their endurance and their magic and their health. Like there's a lot of stuff going on in this game, and I think it's quite unique from what I've played of my limited experience with JRPGs. It reminds me of Pokemon a lot, but a lot more evolved than Pokemon. It's like the game that Pokemon should have been by this point. But yeah, it's fantastic. The story's great too. The characters are like really lovable. Drippy, like at the beginning, I thought he was kind of savage because of what happens to your mom, and he's like, "Well, you being a crybaby and all this." And I was like, "Man, this guy's a savage," but you learn to love him, and he has that that Welsh accent, and he has like really unique characteristics. And then the first section of the game that I'm in right now reminded me of you because it's like this palace, and the king's a cat. And he does a bunch of cat puns. So I was like, oh, Lord X, this is all Lord X written all over it. But yeah, I couldn't praise it anymore. And if you're somebody who's like, scared of JRPGs or put off by them, give this game a try. It's really unique. It's got a lot of heart. Like this game's got a lot of heart, and coming from a smaller studio, like they're doing a lot with this game, and I'm really impressed so far.
Nice, man. I'm really glad you're enjoying it. Just hearing you talk about it's almost making me want to go back and play it again. Never did finish it, so something I should probably do at some point.
I know it's a rather long game, but I'm going to try to, dedicate a lot of time into it and see where it goes from here. The other game quickly that I played was Crash Bandicoot, but I just booted that up yesterday quickly after I saw this video, this like little mini documentary that this guy did. I got to send you a link. It was fantastic. Basically, the guy does a letter to Activision of why the original Crash games worked, and he broke it down by the mechanics and the design and all that, and basically saying this is how you could make a new Crash game. It's really well done, and it's funny. It came out about a week before E3, which is pretty funny. But yeah, I'm gonna keep playing that game too. That's kind of my side game. That's the game that maybe if like I'm taking a break from Ni no Kuni, I could hop into Crash, and it's more. Not that it's mindless, but it's not as involved, I should say, as like Ni no Kuni. So that's kind of a palate cleanser. But that's it for me. It's been several weeks, but I just been sticking to those games right now.
Cool. Yeah, I've got a few on my list here. Only, I guess 2 here that I've really sunk a bit of time into. The first game is Doom. I ended up getting a copy of that. For free, actually, which was pretty damn cool. So I've been playing that. I'm only through the first 2 chapters, I want to say. Probably not even that, to be honest with you. But man, am I ever loving that. That game is so good. And the last time I played it, I decided to use my PlayStation Gold headset.
Yep.
And holy fuck, that was an experience in itself. Having surround sound with that game it's enough to melt your mind with awesomeness, I'll put it that way.
Yeah, the soundtrack's pretty heavy on that. And then just all the like character sound effects and just the shotgun blasts and all that, like it sounds fantastic.
Next up, I ended up buying Lego Jurassic World for the Vita on the flash sale. Yeah, it was like $7.50, I think. So I was like, screw it, why not? I'll pick it up on the old Vita. And it had like a 2 out of 10 platinum difficulty rating, so why the fuck not? And I played through the first chapter. It's all right. It's cool.
Pretty good.
Not sure what the differences are with the PS4 version. I looked up reviews first. The Vita Lounge gave it a 4.5 out of 5. So
okay.
So I figured, why the fuck not? They gave it a good review. Seemed pretty good. So yeah, I enjoyed playing through that first level. Next up, on my birthday, I ended up getting Tokyo Mirage Sessions for the Wii U. I've sunk in about an hour into that so far. that game is going to ease the pain of Persona 5 being delayed to 2017, because this is a Persona game through and through. The combat's pretty good so far. The style of the game is awesome. The opening cinematic just screams anime and Persona. It's fantastic. Like, if you love the Persona games, you're gonna love this game. It's fucking wonderful. The music, so good so far. So definitely going to be sinking a lot of time into that as the year goes by. And it's probably the last Wii U game I'm picking up, to be quite honest with you.
Yep.
And the first big game that I've been sinking quite a bit of time into, I actually was up till 2 a.m. last night playing this, and that's XCOM Enemy Unknown Plus for the Vita, which I bought before the flash sale went on, so I'm still happy to give it $20. I will get my money's worth. The Vita version, it's XCOM. The loading times are a bit slow, and, the frame rate's not the best and whatnot, but it's XCOM. I'm loving it. They have the enemy within stuff in there as well, with like the mech suits and the bio enhancements that you see in like Deus Ex, the augmentation in the game in this version as well. So I never really played Enemy Within before, so this is like new stuff for me, so I'm really interested in getting into this on the Vita version. And that game's probably going to be a mainstay on my Vita now that I have a 64 gigabyte card in my system. And the final game that I've sunk a bit of time into, I went back to PlayStation Now using that service, and I got the Platinum Trophy in Barbie and Her Sister's Puppy Rescue. Because I have no shame, apparently, and I will play anything for a Platinum Trophy.
This guy.
Oh, God, I wanted to just rip my eyeballs out by the end of it, though. God, that game was grinding on my nerves. Thank God for, like, podcasts to listen to. Like, I pretty much binged on Podquisition while I was playing it. That got me through it. But, yeah, that's done now, and I'll probably be diving into some more PlayStation Now games, hopefully, while I still have my subscription going. Next up, I'm probably going to try and dig into a bit of Batman Arkham Origins to try and play that game a bit. I really wanted to. But yeah, that pretty much does it for what I've been playing this week.
Yeah, I guess before we wrap up this section, I want to give people a little bit of updates, because there's going to be things affecting what we've been playing, particularly for me moving forward. First off, I made a bet with Lord X saying that I would buy no games whatsoever, and it's been like a few days at this point, from now until October. And basically, if I win the bet, Lord X has to make a video titled the top 10 reasons why Danganronpa is overrated, right? That's what we settled on.
Yep.
And on the other end, if I lose and I purchase something before October, I have to make a video about is it like the top reasons why I love Nintendo right now? Something like that?
Top 10 reasons why I love Nintendo right now.
Okay, so, and that'll lead into the next thing that I'm going to talk about. But yeah, if you guys you just want to keep following this bet, we got inspired by Easy Allies and their bets. And at the same time, too, I'm trying not to spend money on games. Because in October, there's going to be PlayStation VR, and I'm going to dive deep into that. When that comes out, and other releases like Last Guardian and Skylanders with Crash and all that. But yeah, that's the first thing. Second thing, I sold my Wii U.
Dun, dun, dun.
I sold it, so I will not be talking about Nintendo. I don't have a DS or 2DS or 3DS anymore either, so there's gonna be very little to no Nintendo talk on this podcast from my end, at least.
Yeah, I need to pick up the slack on that now.
Yeah, I don't know moving forward what's going to happen. I'm really hesitant to pick up an NX, just being completely honest, after what's happened with the Wii U and how things have gone with that system. There's some great titles on it. I can't deny it. I loved Splatoon, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Mario Kart 8, Pikmin 3, to name a few. But there just wasn't there enough for me to keep the system. Like you said, Tokyo Mirage Sessions is probably the last game you're going to play on it.
Yeah.
And because Zelda doesn't
Unless
come out.
they stick out Earthbound 3, Mother 3
sure,
on there.
and on the virtual console. But yeah, I sold it off. I kind of cut my ties with Nintendo. I'm not that happy, especially after their E3 showing this year.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people are excited about Zelda. I personally am not. So yeah, the other thing, I'm selling my Xbox One. Haven't sold that yet. So I'm not going to be talking about anything really Xbox related moving forward. You don't talk about that either because you don't have a modern Xbox console. The good thing though is stuff is coming to PC. So for example, Killer Instinct, I downloaded, I tried it out on PC, runs freaking perfect. Moving forward, we'll get into stuff like Sea of Thieves. I'm very excited about it, but that's coming to PC. Cuphead, very excited about it. That's coming to PC. Like this whole initiative of Windows Play Anywhere, it's like whatever. Like I don't need an Xbox One anymore. I rather invest in a high-end PC towards the time when the Xbox One Scorpio comes out. So yeah, and I guess that wraps up in terms of the updates for what we've been playing. So you guys could follow along for the weeks leading up to, months leading up to October to see if I make it through this bet.
Yep.
So far,
just remember,
I'm doing
everybody,
pretty good, but
at Israel Pacheco 89 on Twitter. Just tweet at him all the game deals and sales going on.
Yeah, my
make
buddy,
sure you do that.
Lord X already been doing that. My buddy CJ, I told him about it, and he's been doing that. He's been sending me stuff from Cheap Ass Gamer. I'm like, no, I'm not buying it. But yeah, those are some updates. So we could get into the games of July.
Right. Yes, the games of July. We're hitting the summer drought, folks. But I'm going to be honest, there's a couple of things on here that I'm fairly interested in. All right, so let's begin. I'll do the quick run through and then we can talk about the things that's listed here. On the 5th, we have Romance of the Three Kingdoms 13 for Windows and PlayStation 4. On the 7th, we have Inside for Windows. On the 8th, we have Carmageddon Max Damage for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. On the 12th, we have 7th Dragon 3 Code VFD for the 3DS.
Japan.
Yep. Ghostbusters for Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Shovelware, that's probably worse than the new movie. Mobile Suit Gundam Extreme Versus Force for the PlayStation Vita.
Vita release.
Necropolis for Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Song of the Deep for Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. And Video Ball for Windows, Mac, Linux, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. On the 15th, we have Monster Hunter Generations for the 3DS. And Obliteracers for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. On the 19th, we have 10-Second Ninja X for Windows, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PlayStation Vita. That is not a game based on me. And we have I Am Setsuna for Windows and PlayStation 4, because Square Enix is a bitch and won't release the Vita version over here. And on the 26th, we have Fairy Fencer F, Advent Dark Force for the PlayStation 4, Abduction for Windows, Mac, and the Oculus Rift. And the Banner Saga 2 comes to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Where's the Vita release? And on the 29th, we have Batman Return to Arkham for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. And under to be announced, Fallout Shelter apparently is releasing sometime in July as well. And that's the games that Wikipedia tells us that's coming out in the month of July. There's a few there.
Hopefully no Cuphead, please. Because I'm losing that bet right away.
So yeah, there's a few good things here. I'm definitely picking up I Am Setsuna. Like,
yeah,
that's a must for me right there.
It does look nice. Like I've seen some video of it. It looks pretty nice. The other one's obviously Batman Return to Arkham, but the way that like game's been looking, that looks like one of those games that's going to be a disappointment in terms of the remaster. So I'm steering clear of that one until I hear positive stuff.
Yeah.
Even then, I can't buy it till October. So.
Song of the Deep is interesting. That's the first game being published by GameStop from Insomniac.
Yep, true. I didn't know it was coming out that soon.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious to see how that game's going to be turning out. I hope it's good. I'm interested in the Mobile Suit Gundam game. I'm completely shocked that we're actually getting that released out here, to be quite honest with you. So, might give that a shot. I think it's kind of in a vein of like Dynasty Warriors style gameplay, maybe, but I can't remember. Don't quote me on that. Carmageddon, simply because it's Carmageddon and it looks just batshit crazy. Old school car combat, that kind of deal.
Yeah.
And the Banner Saga 2. And Fairy Fencer F. God damn it, I'm going to spend so much money in July.
Yeah, it looks like one of those months for most people. It's like the kill your backlog month, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, play through all the stuff that you miss from the first half of the year.
Yeah, save money for the fall.
Exactly. That's what it's going to be for me.
Yeah. Other than I Am Setsuna, I'm probably going to be staying clear of the other ones until they hit a sale.
Yeah. Or PS Plus at some point.
Yeah, exactly. I could definitely see 10-Second Ninja being on there, even though I don't know what the fuck that is. And Carmageddon, that's an easy PlayStation Plus game. In which we're looking at this right now, there's no game at the beginning of the month that's kind of that's going to be PlayStation Plus for sure type deal. Which we still haven't heard what we're getting next month yet.
Yeah, that's true, and we're almost in July.
Alright, so with that, it's time to dive into the news. And Izzy, you've got our first little story here. And granted, folks, just so you know, this is the week after E3. Ain't much news going on.
Hey, this is news to some people.
It's better than nothing, some would say.
Oh, just like Sonic said on Twitter. Which, by the way, Sonic's Twitter account is freaking hilarious.
Yep.
Speaking of Sonic Team has announced a new project for Sonic the Hedgehog, which is going to be hitting both stores and digital shelves in 2017. They're going to be revealing more at the 25th anniversary celebration that's being held in San Diego on July 22nd. So right now we don't know much about it except that it's a new Sonic game coming in 2017. They haven't announced any of the platforms yet or any of those details, the theme, the version of Sonic that they're going to have in it, 3D, 2D. They haven't said anything. So I'm personally excited about this to see what they do. I hope they learn their lessons from Sonic Boom, because that was a disaster.
I'm getting a prediction now. It's going to be. Oh, no, it's not going to be focusing on Sonic. It's going to be a fishing game starring Big the Cat.
Get out of here. No. It's going to be an NX launch title. And then I'm going to have to buy an NX. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest, especially with the deal that they've had with Nintendo over the last few years.
Well, who knows? All we know right now is that the NX has two games. Zelda and Just Dance 2017.
Yeah.
Killer apps, folks. Killer apps. Alright, our next news story here. We got another game outed by the old ratings board. And that's Pac-Man Championship Edition 2 is currently in the works at Bandai Namco if a listing on the Korean Game Rating and Administration Committee site is to be believed. Now, I fucking loved the first Pac-Man Championship Edition. Why it's on Vita, I have no idea. Put it on the Vita. But, yeah, this is cool. That Pac-Man game was friggin' incredible, and it's worth playing if you haven't, folks. Seriously, pick up that game. This will be cool if it releases on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and PC.
Yeah, I never played the original. I think I always heard about it. I heard it was fantastic, but I just never got around to playing it for whatever reason. But I'll probably check this out. I enjoy the original like Pac-Man style games from the arcade, and I heard these are pretty much that, but souped up. So yeah, I'll probably check it out. I don't know exactly when this is coming out, but probably sometime soon.
Yep.
So yeah, it's been a slow week.
Yeah, very, very.
So, moving forward, let's talk about Shovel Knight, and Shovel Knight specifically is getting 2 more free campaigns. Woo! It's just like Yacht Club keeps giving us stuff over and over. Like it's crazy there, and it's completely free. Like they could easily charge for this, but last year they gave us the Plague of Shadows free campaign. Now they are working on a campaign for Spectre Knight and a campaign for King Knight too. So Spectre Knight one will be coming out first, and then after that the King Knight one. But it's really surprising how much support this is getting, to be honest.
Definitely,
it's crazy. And it looks like I see some bonus information here on this article that they're actually getting a Vita version.
Yep,
that's going to be
fan
physical copies. That's crazy.
I've actually been considering pre-ordering that, to be honest with you.
That's interesting. But yeah, Shovel Knight, one of my games of the year from last year. Like, if you haven't played it, stop what you're doing right now, go buy it. It's on everything at this point. It's on PC, Wii U, Xbox One, PS4, PS3. Is it on 360? I'm not sure, but
yes it is. It's on 360 and Xbox One as well.
But yeah, go pick it up. That game is fantastic. Just more free stuff from the guys at Yacht Club Games, which is crazy to think they didn't even charge for this.
Yeah, that just shows a great developer, in my opinion.
Just got a call from Miyamoto.
Time to move on to the next news story. I think that's what that means. All right, so to end on there's not a whole lot of news this week, and Lord X just loves Japan news. We got another trademark. Bandai Namco has trademarked Amazing Katamari in Japan. That's right, following a trademark for Amazing Katamari Damacy in Europe, and I am not even going to try to pronounce that, which translates to What a Wonderful Katamari Damacy in Japan. Bandai Namco has trademarked Amazing Katamari in Japan. The trademark was filed on June 14th, and that's all we pretty much know. I, for one, absolutely fucking adore the Katamari games. I'm praying and hoping that we get, like, the first one and the second one on PS2 on PS4. That would be incredible. They're just the weirdest kind of games, and they just scream Japan, and they are fucking wonderful for it. And amazing soundtracks. Like, if you've never played a Katamari game, you are missing out, my friends. Just go look up the soundtracks. And there's nobody better in the old cosmos than the king himself.
Yeah, the only one I played was the Vita version. I never played any of the console ones, but it was fun. Like you said, it was kooky Japanese, over the top. The soundtrack was freaking crazy. The mechanics are freaking crazy. So hopefully we get some announcements sometime soon that they bring a new one. It'll probably be like a downloadable game.
Yeah. Who knows? They put out a physical one for the PS3 and 360, so.
That's true.
Alright, then that pretty much wraps it up for the news this week, ladies and gentlemen. Now for our topic of the week this week. Not getting any toss here?
Oh, tots. Sorry, I spaced out for a second. I was amazed by all the news.
Quite the filler week. It was our beach episode. That's how bad the news episode this week. So yeah, our topic of the week this week. We're still like recovering from E3. Still like hyped over everything that was announced. I've ended up pre-ordering 2 collector's editions since E3 is wrapped up, and my bank account is going to kill me come the fall in February. But other than that, yeah, we're still like insanely talking about E3 stuff. So we figured that we're going to talk about possibly briefly, 5 games each that still has us thinking from E3. From stuff that was shown at the press conferences to stuff that was just, shown outside of that. So, Izzy, why don't you kick us off with one game that you're still, like, really thinking about?
The one that sprung to mind when you posed this question to me right away was God of War.
That's the first one on my list.
Like, I can't stop thinking about this. Like, I've watched that, demo, like, 10 times. I've seen, like, interviews with Corey Barlog from Sony Santa Monica, going over the game and describing, like, the themes of the game and, like, the direction they were taking. And I don't know, I as a God of War fan, like, it's obvious that I would be hyped for this game, but to be honest, like, when they wrapped up with Ascension, I was like, okay, I enjoyed it, but this isn't really for me anymore, I guess. That's the best way to put it, because I felt like I was burned with Ascension, because the way that they marketed the game was basically like, learn who you were before you were a god. Like, Kratos was a man before a god. It's something along those lines was like the whole marketing campaign behind God of War Ascension. And we saw none of that in the game, to be honest. And then I replayed God of War 3, like the remastered version, last year when that came out. And I still enjoyed it, but the story left me lacking in a way that it didn't the first time around when I played it in 2010. And I kind of felt like by the end of it, like, Kratos was, like, spent. Like, that's all we got. Like, they try to redeem Kratos by the end of God of War 3 with like, Pandora and all that. And it didn't work for me. Like, and the ending was kind of strange. So I was kind of like, okay, I'm done with God of War. I think the series needs a rest, and it's had a rest for a while. And I think Ascension came out in 2013, so it's been a while. This game's probably not going to come out till 2017, 18. But I was just super impressed, like, with the direction that they took. They pretty much just took, like, the Last of Us formula and put it into the world of God of War, and now we're no longer in Greek mythology setting. We're in Norse mythology, and the way that the time periods are really interesting. It's like right before I forgot the way that Corey described it, but he was basically saying it was during the time when God still walked around among men. And it's kind of it's like in northern Scandinavia or something like that, and like it's kind of interesting the take that they're taking about it. And like I got so many questions, because after the end of God of War 3, you were kind of like, well, what's gonna happen next? Like, he just killed everybody, he just destroyed this universe, like, what he's gonna do? And then just the way they paced it with the orchestra, I knew right away it was God of War. Once they started, like, the chants and all that, and then now they showed it with his son, and then they showed Kratos with the long beard, and now he has that axe, which seems like kind of like Mjolnir. How do you pronounce that? Like Thor's anvil, right? Yeah, I could never fucking pronounce that right, but yeah, it seems like a version of that in a way, because they were trying to keep it behind the scenes when he kind of dodged the question about, like, what's the importance of the axe and all that. So I'm kind of thinking it's something, it belongs to one of the gods probably.
Well, did you hear the one rumor about who Kratos, like, possibly might be in this game?
No, I didn't hear that.
There was some, like, talks and rumors going around that possibly in this game Kratos could be Odin, essentially, and that the boy, his son, could possibly be Thor. And I think if they go that direction, that would kind of be interesting.
That is interesting, because, like, he jumps into another time and then creates his own mythology. That's really interesting. Like, there's so many questions about this, and the way, like, the way they pace this, like, typically God of War demos are just super over the top, action packed, murdering everybody, and still there was a lot of kills, but it wasn't to the level of previous games. Just how this game was shown was, like, fascinating to me. And, like,
they were like, we've proven that we can do the giant set pieces, and they're still here, they're going to be there. But they wanted to prove that they're going to do the story right this time and explore who Kratos is. And I think one of the concepts I heard was that Kratos is teaching his son to be a god, but at the same time his son is teaching him to be human.
Yeah,
that is deep for a God of War game.
Yeah. Which I really enjoyed the story. I gotta say, God of War 1 and 2. And then after that, it kind of like 3 I enjoyed at the time, but now that I replayed it, I'm kind of like eh. And Corey worked on the second one. He was the lead on God of War 2, which is my favorite in the series.
Yeah.
So it's in great hands, and it's just really interesting what they're doing with this franchise, reinvigorating it. And not only like myself, who's like, you know, a big God of War fan, is excited for this. Like I was watching, you know, PS I Love You, and I know Greg and Colin, they don't like God of War. Maybe the mechanics, they're like fine with them. I personally love the mechanics and the gameplay, but they hate Kratos.
Yeah.
And they're really excited about this new take, which was great to me. Like, it was fascinating to me that it even convinced them. Like, even naysayers of like the God of War series, like they're excited for this. Like, it's, and just the fidelity of the graphics, like, and the game's supposed to be semi-open world, so maybe not something like to the level of Horizon Zero Dawn. Think something more along the lines of like Tomb Raider,
yeah.
That it's like an interconnected world and all that. But
I like how some people like asked him if they could like throw the axe down in one spot and like go to the other side of the map and call it back to him, and he's like, yeah, you can do that. My programmers hate me.
Yep. Yeah, it's just really interesting. It's fascinating. It's like, for me, if I had to pick a game of the show, it would be God of War. And like, if you would have told me like before this that I would have said God of War, and this is coming from a huge fan, like, but I was kind of done with the series. I love the games. I love the, you know, the over the top nature of the Greek mythology. Kratos, like, I really enjoyed Kratos even with his faults. Like, he was a one dimensional character, but it was kind of, you know, the power fantasy. Like, he was kind of a relic of you know, of games before. Like, these were power fantasies. Like, but this is a much more mature, and not necessarily in terms of violence, but more in terms of like character development, emotion, and just the emotion they got out of killing a freaking deer. Like, like, just, it's so weird. Like, I don't know. And then at the end, when you see the freaking dragon, I was like, oh my god, I cannot wait for a boss battle, like fighting a freaking dragon. But yeah, that's one game that comes to mind right away.
The second one on my list, and I'm sure it's on your list as well, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh, yep, I got that on here.
Like, we were interested in that game before, like, from last E3 and PlayStation experience, seeing that demo of how they took down the giant mech dinosaur thingy. That was cool. That was awesome. And we were like, okay, but is there more? How is this like an RPG? And this year they showed us with that demo. We got to see the map and like how big that is and who you're hunting, gathering, the dialogue trees, how this game is an RPG. And before we saw Zelda, like, this is kind of how I pictured like a new gen Zelda to be quite honest with you. And it looks fantastic. It's beautiful. It looks great. And the character, what's her name? Aloy?
Yeah.
Aloy? She seems to be like really cool, really interesting character. Yeah, this game is going to be friggin' awesome, I think. It could be like the next big franchise for Sony moving forward.
Yeah. If they promote it correctly, it's gonna be big. Yep. And I was surprised at the depth of like the combat system and like you know, all the stuff that's in the game, like and you brought up Zelda. Like, this completely this killed any anticipation for Zelda, to be honest. Like, this is what Zelda should be at this point, but Nintendo's still you know, a generation behind. Yeah, some would say even more with the Zelda franchise. But like you said, Horizon Zero Dawn, it looks fantastic. Like, it's a very interesting take on the whole post-apocalyptic thing that we've seen hundreds of times in games at this point.
Yeah,
but it's
cool,
reverse. It's like technology. Yeah.
This is like the Earth having healed itself after the apocalypse, essentially.
And then like these creatures that are mechanical, biomechanical, and it's interesting, and especially the trailers that they've put out, and like her relationship with this world, and like she seems to be like a special person. Has like special abilities, and like all the stuff that we saw, like how you could like reprogram creatures and start writing them. I was like, what? It was so just
fucking cool.
Like this, like,
and
it's
the
gonna be
destruction too.
Yeah,
like,
it's gonna be hard to play anything else. And I know that like Persona comes like right around the time this comes. But this is gonna be the game for February and beyond for me, because like there looks like there's a lot there. Like there's a lot to do, and it's an action RPG. I can't believe Guerrilla's doing this.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, like they've been working on Killzone for so long that I kind of just expected them to be in that first-person shooter bracket as a company, but they're really spreading their wings, and it looks freaking fantastic. Like,
yeah. And thank you as well to Guerrilla for actually bringing the collector's edition to Canada, unlike you, Neil Druckmann.
Don't blame Neil. The third game, since that was like one of the games that I had on my list, is Sea of Thieves.
Cool.
I'm very excited about this, and I'm happy that I'm excited about a Rare game. This is the first time in forever that I've been excited about a Rare game, and it looks super fun. I'm definitely going to be getting this on PC when it comes out, if my PC can run it. If not, I'll get, a beefier PC. But it just looks really fun. Like, that's the one word that I could describe it. Like, fun. It just looks fun, colorful. I'm not in this for, like, the story or anything. I'm in this more for the mechanics and being in the world with a bunch of...
You're there to plunder that booty, aren't you?
Oh, my God. Somebody needs their bootios. But yeah, it just looks really fun, and I'm excited that there's so much positive press and positive buzz going around something from Microsoft, to be honest. Even if I'm getting rid of my Xbox One, like, it's cool, it's different. Like, it's a new IP by a very old studio. It's not gray and dark, and it's not a shooter. Like, it just looks fun. Like, it looks unique.
It does, yeah.
Like, it looks super cool.
Definitely. It's definitely going to be one of those games where you're probably going to need a few people to play, though.
Yeah, that's true. I'm going to try to get, like, several people to get it. I'm going to try to get you to buy it when it comes out. And,
get me to buy an Xbox One just to...
see if it runs on your PC or not.
Oh, it's not going to run on my PC because fuck Windows 10.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true.
The next game on my list, funny enough, is a game shown off at the Xbox, or I should say Windows 10 press conference. And I'm not going to play it for a year because it's fucking 1 year exclusivity. Dead Rising 4. Like, that... I love the trailer for that game. It was so fucking cool. I love the Christmas theme. It's great to see Frank back in as like the main character once more. And it just looks fun. It just looks over the top again. Funny. Dead Rising 3 was like really dour looking for the most part. I know there was more like color and levity into it than what was first shown off, but this is the first time I've been like kind of interested in a Dead Rising game again. And
that's cool.
Yeah. Sucks that, Microsoft has that 1 year exclusivity on this game, but I can wait. There's way too much I'm buying at the end of this year to begin with, so
yeah, true that. Ooh, I got my fourth one here, and that is a VR game. That is Robinson the Journey. I cannot wait. This is the first game I'm playing VR. I'm letting you know right now. For those who haven't heard about Robinson the Journey, it's got dinosaurs in VR. Like, do I need to say more? But basically, you're this character Robin, you're in what seems to be some sort of space station. There's some sort of explosion. There's a pod that leaves the space station with you in it. You crash on this planet, and there's dinosaurs. Like, there's raptors, there's, pterodactyls, there's stegosaurus, there's, like, eventually you get to see, like, a T-Rex and all this, and I've seen footage of this, and this looks like the best looking game on PlayStation VR, at least. Like, it looks incredible. It's being done by Crytek, and the studio knows their thing when it comes to graphics.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks so unique, and it looks like an actual game. Like, it doesn't look like just like an experience. I was debating whether or not to put Batman on here, but Batman looks more like a quote unquote experience, and this game looks like it has more meat on the bone, as people would say, in terms of the game. But super excited for it, and just I can't wait just to see dinosaurs in VR. Like, just as a fan of dinosaurs from a little kid, like, I'm so, and damn right I'm gonna record my reaction to this, because I got those 2 days off, and this seems to be a launch title up to this point. Hopefully it doesn't get delayed, but I cannot wait for this.
Oh my. My next game, I was really debating between two for this one. The game that I didn't put on here was Nier Automata, which is looking so good. But because it really surprised me and made me happy to see this franchise going back to its roots and the way it was revealed, I had to go with Resident Evil 7.
Yep, that was my last one.
Because just the way they had the reveal of it, showing going almost PT-ish, but not at the same time. It's just fantastic to see that series going back to its horror roots. Like, Capcom going, you know what? We fucked up with Resident Evil 6. We went a little too far in the action stuff. We're going back to true horror. We're going to fucking mess with your brain. We're going to scare the shit out of you. And even worse, we're going to put this as a VR game as well. It was just incredible. The reveal. I'm still blown away by it to this day right now. It's... it was just so good. Such a good reveal.
Yeah, I've watched that clip back a few times of Easy Allies, when they revealed it.
Oh my god!
And Huber pushes everybody back like he's about to fall. I'm it's what? Dude, that was classic. But yeah, that was my last one, Resident Evil 7. It's also going to be a VR title. I heard VR, it doesn't look that great. The game itself, I think, looks pretty good, because I did play the demo, which I forgot to put on the list of games that I've been playing. I did play the Resident Evil teaser beginning episode, whatever it's called.
I watched people play it, and then I deleted it off my system, because I ain't touching that. I'm happy to see the franchise going back, but nope.
I told my brother, he's into horror stuff, so my little brother, zombie stuff and Resident Evil. So I told him, hey, this demo came up. It's like PT, because he played PT back in the day with me. We never finished it because it was too obtuse, but at least we finished this. So he played about half of it. Then I played the other half because he got scared, and I started getting creeped out. And I finished it, but any way you finish it, you end up dying, pretty much. But it serves as a good teaser to see what they're going to do with Resident Evil 7. And I can't wait to try this in VR. I know it's going to be horrifying, even if it's not, super high quality. Hopefully they have about 6 months to the date. I think it comes out late January
24th.
So even more than that, they got 6-7 months depending to really polish that up. Hopefully it's very polished by the end. But the way, like you said, they revealed this and they kept it on the wraps the whole time. This was the kitchen demo, and it was done by Capcom, and nobody was like, oh, that's Resident Evil. It never clicked, even
because nobody thought they'd go back to true horror again.
Yeah, even what the Easy Allies guys said, and even what 7 came out on the screen, they still were 7. Even when I was watching, I was 7, and then it filled in Resident Evil, and I yelled so loud, I was like, what? But it was an awesome reveal.
Yeah.
I
love
really
the
enjoyed
title,
the
too.
demo. Yeah.
I love the way they're
Resident
titling
Evil
it,
Biohazard.
Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, and in Japan it's Biohazard 7 Resident Evil. Like,
Yeah.
that's a really cool way to like bridge
Tie
the gap.
everything. Yeah, it's interesting because this is not zombies.
Well, we
this
don't
is-
know that yet.
Well, at this point,
Mhm.
like when you see the guy at the end, he kind of looks like he's infected with something, but maybe he's just a hillbilly.
Well, that's
But,
the thing about Resident Evil. It necessarily wasn't about zombies. It was about this
Yeah, a virus. Yeah, the creation
bioweapon,
of some
essentially.
sort. Yeah, it's true, and maybe they somehow created spirits
Paranormal,
or
yeah.
some paranormal stuff. But yeah, that little girl was pretty creepy in this. It just
It's
shows up
Wesker's ghost back to haunt you.
in different parts, but yeah, they really haven't gone down that direction, and it's great that they're doing this, especially on the heels of PT being canceled and people being so disappointed. They pretty much picked up the ball and ran with it, which is great. Unfortunately, what's not great is that new Umbrella Corps game, which I saw Angry Joe's review on my lunch break, and I could not stop laughing. It was so funny. That game looks
definitely need to
terrible,
watch
but you gotta watch it, man. It's so funny. But yeah, I'm hyped for Resident Evil. I haven't pre-ordered it yet. I will eventually once it gets closer to release date. And I'm gonna have PSVR, so I'm definitely gonna buy it to try it on that. It's gonna be horrifying, but I can't wait to crap my pants.
VR and a headset on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Okay. The last game on my list is a game that you're really pumped for. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Oh.
Like, we both had different reactions to this. At first, I was kind of lukewarm onto it. Definitely the trailer that they had wasn't the best, but the more I've seen about the gameplay, the more I've seen people playing it,
Yeah.
like, I have to agree with some people. This is kind of what I pictured, like, the original Legend of Zelda to be if it was made with modern graphics. So that's kind of why it's been kind of building hype-wise for me. I definitely want to see it, like, how it's going to look and play on the NX.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm definitely interested, and, you know, if I can't afford an NX when it releases on that, I may very well pick up the Wii U edition of it, because
Yeah.
it's got me interested. It's got me hooked. I loved everything I saw. I love that you can basically burn down Hyrule Field if you want to. That was fun.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of been thinking about this in my head, like why I was so disappointed by it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's because all these rumors that were leading up to it about voice acting and being able to play as a female Link and all that stuff. And there is voice acting in the game, and they already shot down the rumors of a female Link.
Yeah.
But
you can play in your underpants from start to finish,
oh my
Izzy.
God, for a very stupid reason, the whole dynamic of the Triforce, and it's, oh my God, it was so, and that just pissed me off even more after listening to Anuma's like reason. I don't know if something was lost in translation or it still was as stupid as it sounds in Japanese. But I think I thought we were gonna see something that was more story, like a more basis on story, and they went the opposite direction. All the stuff that they showed was about the world and what you could do in the world. I thought the first trailer was gonna be like, you know, more story, like you, Zelda, Ganon, like the new Hyrule, more.
That being said, though, from what we saw in that very limited space, which was massive in itself, and was 1% of a map, which mind-boggling, but like the hints of like how this world has basically died and how you're being reborn now, I guess, to try and save it, but it's just so cool, like seeing like those ruins, and it's just a mystery in itself, and it's kind of giving me that Shadow of the Colossus vibe for the world itself. Maybe that's why it's like really speaking to me a bit more, but yeah, the world itself, it's just like, it's got me curious, it's got me interested, so
Yeah, I'm the opposite. Like I was disappointed with the reveal, not only the trailer but the way that they handled the live, which I'm sure even you can agree, even you that like.
Yeah, the reveal was pretty bad.
The way that they went into Pokemon for 45 minutes and then they came back to Zelda and the transitions were terrible.
I fucking loved how people started complaining. They're not showing Zelda. They said they were going to show Zelda. And beforehand they were like, they're only showing Zelda? Why the fuck are they only showing Zelda?
Which is funny. Pokemon looked pretty cool. I gotta give them that. That did look pretty cool.
Can't wait.
And then like how they forgot to turn off the time limit on the machine. I was like, what are you doing, Nintendo? Like,
I wanted one job.
Like I wanted to jump on my seat like Kyle Boston and be like, what are you doing? E3.
Though you have to give Nintendo credit. They had one game in their booth that was playable, and it was packed every day. There's like videos that you can go watch where it's just like the doors of E3 open and people just rush to that one station.
They're all running Zelda. They're all Nintendo fanboys. But what's funny is I saw like the latest game face over on sifted.net, and Shane and Matt kind of fell like in the same camp that I fall, that like would people even give a damn if this was anything other than Zelda?
True.
Like if this was just like they didn't say this, for example, if this was like the third Darkstalkers game, or I mean Darksiders game, excuse me, would people care? Like if it was something else? No, it's like if any other game, if you take The Legend of Zelda out of the title, would they care? No, because these mechanics have been in games since like early 360.
Yeah, it's like, definitely Nintendo borrowing from a lot of other games.
Even stuff like Fable on the original Xbox, like, and other stuff. Even if I don't enjoy the games, like the Elder Scrolls games, they've been doing this for years, since like probably Morrowind. And and then Oblivion, and then Skyrim, like, and then the Fallout games, and then every other like the Grand Theft Auto games, Red Dead, like, it just seems like they're so behind. Like I just maybe anything that they could have done just wouldn't have worked for me personally, but I don't know. I kind of think a lot of people are giving it a pass and game of the show because it's Zelda. If it was something else, they wouldn't have. They wouldn't have really cared. Like, they would have been like, "Oh, this is a open world game. It's kind of empty. Nothing's really going on. Like, what's happening?" Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being. Maybe it's kind of a reflection of how I feel about Nintendo at this moment, and why I sold off my Wii U and just scratching my head at their decisions. But hopefully, it pays off. It seems like it got great press. But that doesn't necessarily translate into sales, because a lot of games on Wii U got great press. Remember Bayonetta 2? It sold to nothing, so hopefully it works out. Zelda's a way bigger name, than Bayonetta, but still, it just never, you never know. So
yeah, this was probably definitely the game they needed early on to really help the Wii U.
Yeah.
Oh well, and that wraps it up. That was my last one. I mean, we could go on for hours about the games that were shown, like Spider-Man and other things that I can't remember right now. The Last Guardian getting a release date and making me cry again. Got that collector's edition. But that pretty much wraps it up for our topic of the week. As far as questions and comments go, I looked back at the last episode. We did get 2 comments there. One from Sega CD Universe, who says, "Good, now I don't have to call you," referring to you, Izzy.
Yep.
And Aaron B left us a comment as well, saying, "Great episode, guys. Sony was my favorite conference from the Crash remakes," which, that shows you how great of a press conference it was.
We didn't even talk about that.
Yeah. To God of War, to the new Spider-Man. I couldn't be more happy. Which, yeah, Sony just killed it this year. We could have easily had just like 5 games alone from their press conference to talk about. So yeah, thanks for the comments, guys. And Izzy, I'll throw it over to you to wrap things up here. Oh, I do have one thing to mention. Do a couple shout outs because I know you've got one thing to shout out as well. as we record this today, I have posted up Glitchamania. So go check that out here on my channel. It's 2 hours of wrestling nonsense. That's essentially what it is. And you'll see some really funny stuff there. Some kind of funny stuff.
Ooh, this guy.
So, Izzy, I know you have a shout out as well.
Yeah, so I did start another podcast. It's called the Bit Wars Retro Gaming Podcast. It's going to be a monthly thing that I'm going to be doing with my buddy CJ. As the title implies, it is all retro stuff, so we're going to get into that on a monthly basis. I'll probably see if Lord X can leave a link down below or something like that.
Will do.
Yeah, hopefully we could get you on as like a special guest like on one of the episodes, because it's only a monthly thing, so we don't have like a lot of many ideas as say like a weekly podcast or stuff like that, but kind of get together on a monthly basis. But it's up there. The first episode I talked about the current state of retro game prices, and I talked about we talked about, I should say, our favorite 16-bit era soundtrack. So it was a good discussion. I did do it live over Google Hangouts. That's how it's going to be moving forward. It's just easier that way instead of recording it and then putting gameplay footage and all that stuff. But yeah, a monthly thing. I don't know yet what next month's topic is going to be, but let us know. Give us feedback down below, or feedback on the video itself, and give us some suggestions.
Cool. All right, take us away, Izzy. It's Game of Thrones night.
Yeah, that's true. So thanks, guys, for checking out this episode of the Glitched Out Gaming Podcast. Let us know in the comment section down below. What are some of the games you'll be picking up in July, if any at all? What are your thoughts on any of these great news stories that we covered? What's some of your highlights of E3 2016? Those games that still won't get out of your mind. For Lord X, I'm Izzy, aka Israel Pacheco 89, and we are glitching out.
Remember, folks, keep hitting that lever.
Welcome, everybody, to the Easy Allies podcast. This week, I'm your host, your moderator, Kyle Bossman. And joining me is Mr. Mime. What the fuck?